Welcome back to Hey Hey It's Teacher Day. Today we're going to be talking to three very important people. Some may even say the most influential people in teaching. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce pedagogy, student and content. How are you all today, gentlemen?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
Great, what an honour it is to be on this amazing program once again.
It has been a sensational day. Thank you for having us all.
So yesterday we all watched the teaching sequence, The Location, from Mr. Bill Stevenson. I asked all of you to think about the lesson from your own perspective. Just remember, viewers, these guys are good friends, but there may be some heated discussion in the next few minutes. Let's start with pedagogy. What was your thoughts on the lesson?
I believe that it was a rather reasonable lesson. There are a number of great aspects, but also a few aspects that need work.
I couldn't agree more. Tell us what you believe some of the good aspects were.
As you all know, my name is pedagogy. Therefore, I look at how the teacher is connecting the content with the students, and if they are teaching the class or the student. Within this lesson, the teacher incorporated a concept called Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. This is creating an environment that respects and accommodates all learning styles. In the introduction, the teacher provided the students with clear instructions, which incorporates hearing and listening. He ensured that all students had a hands-on group task to involve the aspects of teaching and answering within the body. And in the conclusion, he was able to have a demonstration on the board which activates the students' ability of reading and viewing.
Wow, haven't you done your research?
Wait, there is still more. It was great to see that Mr. Stevenson gave the students ownership of their specific task and used their prior knowledge to connect the students with the content. He invited the students to use their imagination, which I believe is vital in learning.
So do I. Before we look at some aspects that didn't quite fit in, I'm sure the viewers wouldn't mind hearing what student has to say about the lesson. Student, take it away.
As pedagogy mentioned, this lesson had its ups and downs. It's clear that Mr. Stevenson knows his students and understands that he needs to meet the needs of each and every one through the use of UDL. But I think a little more time in each department of UDL would have made this lesson go from good to great. What I liked mainly was how the students used their prior knowledge based around gathering data and graphing to help with this task. The use of handing out letters to the students was a great way to get the children motivated for the lesson. Mr. Stevenson knows that these children are at an age now where motivation towards class can lack, and therefore new and exciting tasks are vital.
I couldn't agree more with gaining motivation in the classroom. Lessons are near impossible without it. Student, what did you see that did not work so well?
When watching the lesson, there is one point which really stands out.
Let me guess. Would that be when one group got left behind because of not knowing how to set their graph up correctly?
Yes, exactly.
Was this where you thought there was a problem too, pedagogy?
Yes, this was my main point where improvement is needed, but I'll let student explain his thoughts in relation to this point.
Thank you. As was stated, there was one group that spoke up and stated they were unsure of a few minor details that delayed their progress on this task. They were unsure on how to set out the spacing of each point. This could have been prevented by the teacher giving a demonstration at the start of the lesson to ensure that all students are at the same level of understanding before beginning the task. This all comes back to knowing your students and what your students are still learning.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yes, when watching the lesson, that was one of the points that raised much controversy in our viewer poll. Now there is one more important man that I must hear from, and that is content. Let me tell you, viewers, this guy has a very split personality. He has two sides to him, one being common content knowledge and the other being specialised content knowledge. And today he's going to let us in on both of these sides, giving us insight on his views towards the lesson. Mr. Content, take it away.
Wow, what an introduction, Mr. Chalmers. Within this lesson, it is clear that Mr. Stevenson knows the content he is required to teach, but the way he delivers it needs some work.
What do you mean?
I can identify that he has good knowledge of statistics, and by using the secret location task, he successfully engaged the students. By seeing that the majority of the students are able to complete the task, it is evident that prior knowledge has been accessed, although, as the two men before may have mentioned, some students did not achieve the same outcomes as the other students. This is where he could have improved. He could have gained an even deeper understanding of statistics and tried to have a refresh lesson before commencing this specific task.
Do you agree?
Yes, 100%.
Of course, this would have helped immensely.
What I really did like about Mr. Stevenson was that he weighed the importance of giving students ownership and allowing them to work in groups greater than the importance of just handing out worksheets. This is very correct. Everyone learns differently, and I believe that he has incorporated UDL into his lesson rather effectively through all three stages of his lesson, as pedagogy mentioned.
What a wonderful discussion. Three very different minds, but all very similar views on this teaching sequence. There is one last question I wish to ask you all. Did you spot any teaching or any technology that was used in this lesson?
From the pedagogical view, no. I could see a number of different materials, but no technology was used. I believe that if the students had laptops, they could have completed the task much faster and more accurately.
I did not see any technology either, but from a content perspective, the way the lesson was run with hands-on activities was a great way for students to remember the task, opposing to having them do it over a 5-minute period on a laptop and then forget about it. Student, what do you think?
I can relate to what both of you are saying and believe that it is important to have hands-on activities and also to use technology. Maybe Mr. Stevenson could have used technology at the end of the lesson to demonstrate how their data would look using graphing program like Word.
What a wonderful point to finish this episode of Hey Hey, It's Teacher Day on. Thank you to our panel of guests. We hope to have you back soon. Until then, stay classy, Australia.